How will it impact the rest of the Orioles lineup?
Yeah, well, there's a lot of curiosity because, there are 3 catchers on the roster now, and we wondered whether there was any possibility at all that you could get all 3 in the lineup because, in case you haven't noticed, Caleb Joseph's been swinging the bat very well, averaged way above 300 in August. Steve Clevenger, a career-high 4 hits on Sunday, hits the home run last night, yet Joseph ends up on the bench. So we thought, is there a chance you could have all 3 of them in a lineup together because they do all play first base. You've got the DH spot. Clevenger was a shortstop in high school. I don't think you'll see that here. But Buck said right now he doesn't expect to do that. Now, things could change, obviously, but he doesn't expect to play all 3 of them at the same time at this point. And obviously he's true to his word tonight because Joseph is on the bench despite having the hot bat. So Wieters is behind the plate. Clevenger's DHing again. And right now, Matt's schedule, we talked to him earlier about, will the hamstring dictate how much you catch, if you can try and go back-to-back. He's only done that one time. And he said, no, it's still all about the elbow. So if he's catching tonight, he wouldn't expect to catch tomorrow. He could DH or he could rest. So basically, I think he's pretty much on the same schedule he was on before he strained the hamstring. And again, he said that it's the elbow that's going to really dictate when he plays, whether he can finally go back-to-back games behind the plate. It's not about the hamstring. He feels fine. And he actually said he thinks catching would help the hamstring more than if he was DHing tonight. Because I was a little surprised. I thought he might, be eased back in just DHing. But he said it's actually going to help keep the leg loose as opposed to if he had an at-bat that had to sit on the bench for a few innings, go back and hit again. But right now it doesn't look like we're going to get the big 3 in the lineup at the same time.
Again, we're in a rain delay here at Baltimore's Camden Yards. The Orioles, the Mets have yet to begin their first of 2. Jacob deGrom pitching for the New York Mets, and the Orioles counter with Kevin Gausman. The Orioles again 4 back in the American League East behind the New York Yankees, and they have the second wild card position right now. The Mets, of course, lead the Washington Nationals by 4.5 in the National League East. You can see Gausman with his glasses on taking some tune-up tosses, talking with Roch Kubatko from MASNsports.com School of Rock. Roch, how about you get Henry Urrutia up here and you get Steve Clevenger up here, and both seem like they've been charged up and raring and ready and helping the Orioles offense.
They have been. And, Dan Duquette said when I talked to him before about the possibility of still trying to make a deal by the other deadline, the second one, which is the one at the end of August where players have to go through waivers. While they're still kind of keeping an eye on that market, he said the help's really going to have to come from within. And those are 2 examples there with Urrutia and Clevenger. We were a little surprised about Urrutia just because you didn't really hear much about him during the season. It was more about Dario Alvarez. Christian Walker's really been swinging the bat well. And all of a sudden, kind of quietly, Henry Urrutia put together a pretty big season at Norfolk, some really impressive numbers. He was the hot bat. Alvarez had kind of cooled off a little bit, so they went with Henry. And, he's made some contributions. How about the leaping catch to rob the home run, which we are not used to seeing from Henry. He'd worked really hard to improve his defense, so he's back in left field again tonight. He's not just going to be a DH. So they want to take another look at him. They feel like if he's going to really emerge, this is going to have to be the time to do it. And Clevenger, Buck said he challenged him in spring training, and after he was sent down after the first game, he said, look, go down there and hit 300 in AAA, which is exactly what Clevenger did, and he ended up making a AAA All-Star team. His averages stayed above 300. He did the things he had to do as far as conditioning and improving his defense where the team thought that there was some room for improvement there. He did everything he was supposed to do. He attacked it aggressively. He's back up, and he's the guy we'd expect now to stay through the rest of the season. He's out of options next year. So if he's still in the organization, he comes to spring training. If he doesn't get a job with the Orioles, he might be someplace else then.
Of course, J.J. Hardy's the anchor to the Orioles infield. He was really missed early in the season when he hurt his shoulder down in spring training. Now, recently, he's had a little struggle with the hitting. You had a chance to talk with J.J. Hardy today. What happened?
I did, and I tried to use that, too. I said, it's been recent, maybe the last 30-some at-bats. So I give J.J. credit. He goes, it's more than 30. Because it's been a struggle since I came back from the DL. He had the shoulder injury, and he can't put his finger on it. He just says that he hasn't been hitting. He can't seem to get going. It's been a struggle, and he goes, look, I need to start hitting. He goes, there's a month and a half where I want to be able to help this team make that push to get into the playoffs. He said, it's not that I'm not trying hard. I might be trying too hard at this point. But he just can't get comfortable. He's 3 for 34 right now. I said, yeah, but, you've had some clutch hits. He's batting .295 with runners in scoring position and less than 2 outs. Buck was quick to remind me that he leads the team in game-winning RBIs. He goes, look, whatever J.J. gives us offensively, that's a bonus. What he does defensively, how he's helped Machado and Scope out there, anything with the offense, I mean, that's a bonus. They'll take the defense and the leadership that he provides. That said, Buck goes, look, we know he's capable better than that. And he is the kind of guy that could go on one of those tears for a month and a half and nobody can get the guy out. So they're certainly not giving up on him, but he's so important to this team defensively. They'll take anything they can get, but you can see it's bothering JJ. He knows he's better than a 220-some hitter, and it's just not happening for him right now, and he doesn't know why. I said, what about health? He had the back that flares up once in a while, the shoulder. he said, if I'm able to go out there, then that's not an excuse. I'm good enough, I'm healthy enough to play, then I should be able to produce. It's not happening.
Roch, when you look back at that Oakland series, a 4-game sweep, we know Machado's hit all season. Chris Davis has really been hot recently and all. And of course, Adam Jones. But what about the players, the other players? It seemed like they all just sort of got into a good groove over a 4-game period throughout the entire weekend.
But that's what's so curious about this team, because they weren't doing that, and everybody gets in a slump, and the offense shuts down, and then all of a sudden, everybody starts heating up. I mean, you look at the no-hitter, and then after that, now suddenly they're unbeaten, and they're scoring all these runs. It was 30 runs in a 3-game span, tied a franchise record with 26 hits. And again, everybody's contributing, and we're quick to mention Davis, how he's carrying the team, what Machado's done, Adam Jones. But you're right, there's a lot of other guys too. Scope, what he's been doing, keep that average around 300. They're getting contributions for a lot of guys, including now Urrutia and Clevenger, and that's what they need. It can't just be 1 or 2 guys. And it's just been pretty Apara, what he's done for them, his on-base capabilities, his base running. He's a plus defender with a plus arm. So they're getting contributions pretty much from everybody, except for JJ. He was the only guy that didn't have a hit in that 18-2 game among the starters. And again, they expect him to kind of break out of it because he's a hard worker, and they know he's better than that. But right now, they are getting contributions from a lot of different guys, and that's why they're where they are. They got the second wild card right now.